Hello there, my name's Vince from My Mate Vince, and welcome to day 11 of the Amazon Advent Repair Challenge. Day 11 already. Hopefully you've enjoyed the series so far. Let's see if we can fix anything on day 11. Let's get started.
Bug Zapper.
Here we have yet another, surprise, surprise, a bug zapper. Now with this one here, it works when I put the screwdriver in, but there's no light shining up. Interestingly, after Googling this, a lot of people are saying that mosquitoes are not attracted to UV lights. So biting insects, a lot of them aren't, but other insects are. So maybe you're going to be killing the wrong sort of insects. Not too sure about that. Maybe it depends where you are. Right, okay. Mosquitoes are more to things like your breath and your body odour and stuff like that, I think. This is working though, watch this. Gets me every single time. Right, so let's find out why the UV light part of this is not working. I've already looked at one of these, so I should know my way around it a little bit more than before. First of all, let's... is it even worth taking out the lamp at the bottom? Or should we just go straight to the top? I don't think there's any point in taking the lamp out. I don't think the... Well, I suppose I could check with the other one, then we know the lamp is not at fault. Yes, rather than taking it apart, because it could be a faulty lamp. So we're going to be undoing this like so. Here we go. And I've got to undo these 4 here. 4 screws. Obviously I'm unplugged. Let's get another light now, pop it in and make sure this light hasn't blown. That was harder to pull out. And it hasn't got any markings on, but I'm assuming it's going to be the same. So let's plug this one into here because we know this is working. Right, we're in. I am going to just put this here just to stop it falling down and touching the cage. Let's see now, is it going to light up? Plugging it in now. No, so it's not the light, interestingly. Unplugged. I've got to put a screwdriver in there to discharge it again. I'm unplugged, but it still will spark a bit. There we go. Right, so hopefully now that's discharged it. So we know it's not the light, and just to make sure this light is okay, let's plug that into there, and let's see if this one comes on. I don't think that's going to fall. There we go, yeah? So we know the light is okay. And spark. There we go. I'm going to put these back to the original ones. So let's undo the screws around the top and let's see if we can discover why the light side of this is not working. Although it wasn't in the original box, to me it doesn't look like it's had any use. It looks very clean. Right, should be okay to work on. Oh, a nice little circuit board. Right now, oh look at all them. That's to up the voltage, you see. It will keep going through, getting higher and higher and higher. Now, can anybody see if there's anything wrong? So we have the 4 wires coming out here, 2 blue, 2 white, and they go to here. That all looks okay. Mains wire coming in, which must be alright because the electric part's working. So this here is working because this is going down to the cage. So why is the light not working? Right, so this is the connector here going down to the light. Should we have a little zoom in and see if anything doesn't look right? Right, I can see a solder joint that doesn't look brilliant here. But this is going to be on... See, this one here looks like it's barely... Doesn't look like there's much there at all. But that's going to be on the capacitors, or sort of the diodes. I think that's to do with the high voltage side of it. So I'll have to remember to touch that up in a bit. So I can't see anything wrong there. These are the 4 connections. So they're on top somewhere. Oh, some of the resistors might not look very healthy. Let's have a close look at that resistor there. Do they look like they're burnt out? That's burnt out. That resistor there is burnt out. Look at the top of it. Can you see that there? And the one underneath it doesn't look healthy. And that one at the bottom looks like it's burnt out. And that one there is burnt out. Wow, why have we got so many burnt out resistors? So that's going to be a bridge rectifier, I presume. Can't really see. Yeah, that's the bridge rectifier there. So it looks like the DC side of it, there's quite a few things not working. So these are probably 100 all the way up, but I don't actually know that. That's 105, and these are probably 105 all the way up. So I think we've got 3, possibly 4 resistors that are not working. So let's zoom out a little bit. It shows you how important a visual inspection is. So these are 100, so these should just be 10 ohms. Okay, and that's in the mega ohms, so that's not right. Let's go to the one below it. No, that's 18,000, so that's not right. Yeah, that's right. These are the ones that look nice, that's right. No, so you can see they're in their mega ohms, so they're not passing, there's too much resistance there, they're blocking the signal from going through to here. My worry is what's caused this to do that at the very beginning? Unless the lamp itself is somehow faulty. But I'm not sure if me putting in it'd be different if it was just 1 gone. You think maybe it was a manufacturing defect, but 1, 2, 3's gone here. And this one here doesn't look healthy. Yeah, I'm not too sure. Let me do diode test on the other ones, because I've got a feeling I might put resistors in and the same thing might just happen straight away. Let me just see if the diode's alright. So reading that way. No reading that way. No reading. Right, that's okay. I want to just check this these things here. I'm going to call them transistors, but I don't actually know what they are. Let me see if we have any shorts. Well, that's interesting. That's not giving me a reading either way around. That doesn't seem right. That doesn't give me a reading anywhere, as if it's just completely open. Let's go on to this one here. Neither does that. How bizarre. That doesn't give me anything. No, that's weird, is it not? Let's zoom in and see what they are. I'm just going to Google them, because if they were a transistor, I'd get a diode reading. 13003. 13003. Let me Google them. Well, I haven't gone on to any data sheets, but it says here that it's an NPN transistor. So it is a transistor, and it's saying it's renowned for its versatility in various applications such as charger circuits, inverters and amplifiers. I think they've both failed, and for some reason it's also taken out the resistors as well. I'm going to take a picture of them. I'm unsoldering both of them, because why am I not getting a reading from them? And I also need to change out all those resistors as well. I'm not sure if I've got any of these. Oh, interestingly, the base is on the edge here, and then we got collector and emitter. The base isn't in the middle. So I'm going to add some leaded solder to the unleaded solder just to reduce the temperature down a bit, and I'm just going to try to repeatedly move the soldering iron up and down the legs. Hopefully they all stay molten enough for the component to drop out. That's one. Let me see if I can do this without putting leaded solder on. Nope. There we go. All right, let me get my component tester on here. Well, first of all, let's do the diode test again now that it's out of circuit. And we know that this side here is the base, so we'll start from there. But I did every combination before anyway. So we're on the base. Do we have anything here? No. Do we have anything here? No. Go here. Nah, that's blown open, I'm sure of it. Now I'm hoping it says no component. No. And here. No. So they are faulty. So I'm going to see if I've got any of them, or if I have any things that are similar, equivalents. And then we'll worry about the resistors later. So I think one of these failed, which took out the other one, and then took out all the resistors as well. Because otherwise, why would the resistors have gone? Well, I've had a look in my transistor kits, and I can't find any of these or the equivalent, which is a shame. I've got a load of MOSFETs, but these are transistors, so I don't think it's going to be. I don't think they're going to work. Anyway, if I have a look here. They are I found one on Amazon for next day delivery, which is an MJE13003, and it says an NPN power transistor for switching applications commonly used in power supplies and electronic ballasts. Now that rings a bell. I think when it comes to these sort of like fluorescent-y type tubes, I don't even know what that tube is down there, that you need a ballast for them. So I'm thinking that that's what these are for. Offering a high voltage up to 450 volts, which we're going to need, 240 volts, and a 1.5 amp current handling capacity. So if I have a look on Amazon, I've got these ones here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so there's 10 of them for $6.49. Now believe it or not, that is actually expensive, because I would be able to get 10 on AliExpress for, I think, £1 or £2, but then I would have to pay a little bit of delivery. But I'm paying for the convenience because this is next day delivery. So I can buy this just before midnight tonight, and it's going to arrive tomorrow. So I might do that, but I'm going to see if I've got another one of these, because I'm going to be stuck with these resistors. And I don't really want to be guessing what resistors are in there, because you see, I might, I need to know, because they're going to be powering this, and I don't want too little or too much. So I'm going to see if I've got another one of these. Maybe if I've got one with a big crack case or something, I might be able to just take the transistors out of it and the resistors, because I don't really know if I want to spend $6.99 when I can get them from AliExpress for next to nothing. So having a look, I do have more bug zappers, yay! But I haven't got any of this particular brand or model. In fact, the closest one I've got to it is that last one, but I know the circuit board's completely different. But what I'm wondering is, we know that the light fits this one and the other one. So we know that they're both working with 240 volts AC. So surely the circuit must be pretty similar. So I'm going to take apart the other one, and I'm going to have a look where the transistors are, see what they are, and see if maybe it also has similar resistors around the place. In which case then I might be able to tell which one, the base, I can't remember now, is that the base? I can't remember which way around it went, but the one on here, because they're the ones that's burnt out. So I might be able to work out what's what on them. Right, interestingly, this is the one I've repaired before. These are also 13003. These have a T at the end of them. And look at the size difference between that and that. These are much beefier on this model here, much bigger. You can see that, about twice the size, maybe more. So maybe these are not really up to the job, or possibly one just went faulty. So yeah, but it's interesting to see that they're both powered from the same mains. They both have the same lamp. We know that these are for the lamp side of the circuit, and yet these are much bigger than these here. But if you have a look, we do have quite a few resistors around the place. Not as many, but we've definitely got, because I do think they're one for each lamp, we've definitely got like blues here, which is the same as this one. So that looks the same as that. That looks the same as that, and that looks the same as that. So maybe if I can work out what legs they go to, I might be able to work out that some of them might be 10 ohms, for example, and then I can eliminate those ones, and I might be able to work out the other ones. I'm just going to go on the legs here just to see if we do have readings, because remember on the other one we didn't. So no reading there, but we have a reading there, but it is in circuit. Reading there. And a reading there, And if I go there, no reading, and a reading. So you can see they're behaving much they're differently than these, even though they are in circuit. So leave it with me for a bit. I'm going to see if I can work out what leg goes to where and see if I can find them on the resistors. Well, luckily for me, I have a bug zapper that works. That takes the same or a very similar lamp. The lamp seems to work. Both lamps seem to work in this working one here, so hopefully they're the same. Now, if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't know what resistors to put in, because annoyingly with the SMD resistors, it's quite easy if they burn on the top to get rid of all the markings. With these through-hole resistors, you might have a chance of unsoldering them and there still might be some markings left underneath. With the SMD ones, with the number on the top, if they blow the top off, which you've seen in the one that I'm trying to fix, then you have no idea what resistance they should be. So if it wasn't for this one here, I wouldn't be able to fix it. Now, I'm thinking that each transistor feeds each light. If you look at the lamp, there was 2 tubes coming out and there was 4 contacts up the top. So although it's the one lamp, I think it's actually 2 lights built in to that fixture. So 1 transistor and 1 lot of resistors for 1 light, and the other transistor and the other resistors for the other light, even though they're in the same bulb, the same lamp itself. And I think it goes through the bridge rectifier to get it to DC to do the switching on the transistor, and then I think it goes through the transformer stuff to bring it maybe back to AC for the actual lamp itself. I think these lamps are going to be AC, and that's why they're converted via the bridge rectifier to DC to do the switching side of things, and then converted back to AC again to actually make the lamp work. But if I'm incorrect there, please add it to the comment section below, because we'll all learn a little bit. So yeah, that's it. I'm just trying to work out the circuit now so I can work out what SMD, surface mount resistors, to put in.
My mate Vince is thick.
So we want to know which one is coming off the emitter, because the emitter's coming along here, and that's where the missing resistor is. And also the missing resistor here, the one that's blacked out, is also from the emitter. Because if I go to continuity, you can see that if we go onto that pin there and here, you can hear it's coming up on that resistor. And if I go to this pin here on the missing transistor and here, it's coming up there. Not there, forget about that, that goes elsewhere, but here. So both resistors are gone on the emitter, which I suppose would make sense, because that's where all the power's going to get to the rest of it. Now, on this one here, I can see that the emitter is going to be this one on this side here, and it actually comes up, I've traced it on the back, this resistor here. And this resistor is down as a red, gold. And if we have a look here, red, gold would be red, which is 2, and then times 0.1. And if I do this, 2 times 0.1, it equals 2.2. So I think the bad resistors here are 2.2. And on SMD, that would be written from memory, 2R2. So I think that's what it should read on the top of that resistor there. Now let's zoom in. I think I've convinced myself it is 2R2, because if you have a look here, this one here, does that look like maybe? Let me do it so it's not shaking. Could it be 2R0 maybe? And then if we go to this one here, I think they're the same. I do think they're the same resistor. In fact, that does look like a 2 at the end, doesn't it? 2 something 2. But it kind of looks like it could be 5, but that could be R, couldn't it? That really could be R, because if you have a look, can you see it could be? I'm going to shine the light back on it, but up, down, down here. I think it could be. Yep. So I'm going to change that one with a 2R2 if I have one. I'm going to put a 10 ohm resistor in below, keep those ones there, put a 10 ohm resistor there, and I'm going to put a 2R2 there. And those ones are the ones that are like 1 meg ohm. And then I'm going to order those ones up from Amazon. I am tempted to take it out of the other one rather than spend $6.99, but they're common transistors. I'm sure that they're going to be coming useful in the future, and it saves me having to wait weeks for AliExpress to arrive. I'm going to see if I've got these ones for the time being though. So I get my lovely little SMD resistor kit that I got from eBay, 1206 size. Spent about £20 for this, but it's so nicely labelled up and stuff. It makes finding the resistors so easy. So I take out some 1001s, which will be 10 ohms, and I take some 2R2s out. With these particular resistors, they are labelled up a little bit differently, but they do measure the same. So I just need to solder them in, and then once the transistors arrive from Amazon, we can plug it in, turn it on, and wait to see if we have any magic smoke or will it start working. I will reiterate, there's no way I would have known what resistors to put in if it wasn't for the other bug zapper that I had. That's the only reason I'm putting these resistors in, because I believe it's going to be a similar circuit to the other bug zapper. But I could be completely wrong, so never copy what you see in my videos. I'm using some low melt solder to take out these old resistors. Save me using the hot air when we're so close to capacitors and stuff. Low melt solder does work wonders on little surface mount components like this. And then we need to solder in the correct resistors. What you'll see me do is, once I've cleaned the pads off of the low melt solder, because you have to get rid of all that stuff, you're going to see me just put leaded solder on one pad. And that way then I can heat up that pad, put the resistor in, and it will lie flat. Then I can put solder on the other pad. If I was to put solder on both pads, I wouldn't be able to get the resistor to lie flat unless I was to use hot air. Now, while I'm doing this, you can listen to a little bit of Christmas music.
Oh, holy night, the stars are brightly shining. It's the night of the dear Savior's birth. Long lay the world in sin and error pining, till he appeared and the soul felt its worth. A thrill of hope, the weary world rejoices, for yonder breaks a new and glorious morn. Fall on your knees, oh, hear the angel voices, oh, night divine, the night when Christ was born, oh, night divine, oh, night divine. Led by the light of faith serenely beaming, with glowing hearts by his cradle we stand. So led by light, our stars sweetly gleaming, here come the wise men from Orient land. The King of Kings laid us lowly manger in all our trials, born to be our friend. Oh, fall on your knees, oh, hear the angel voices, oh, night divine, the night when Christ was born, oh, night divine, oh, night when Christ was born.
Alright, so now if you have a nice close look there, you can see that that's in its place, that's in its place, that one there, and the one by the capacitor down there. So now let's zoom out and see if we have different readings, because remember before I think these ones were, that one was in the mega ohms, I think. So if we go between this one here and here, you can now see that we're 2 ohms. And if I go between here and, I can't remember where that went now. Sorry, here. Again, 2 ohms. And now if we do this one here, you can see 10 ohms. The one below it's going to be 10. The one below it's going to be 10. Yeah, and my new one, the blobby one at the bottom, 10. There we go. So I'll pick up this video tomorrow after Amazon have delivered.
One snory night later.
Right, so next evening now, and my little Amazon transistors have arrived. So let's take 2 of them out, make sure we got a diode reading on them, and then I'm going to put them in the same way that they came out, because I took a picture here. Right, diode test. And if we go here to here, we've got something. Here we've got something. Swap the leads around. Nothing. Nothing. And those 2 legs, nothing. This way round. Okay. You can see they're acting differently than the last lot. So let's pop them in and see what they're going to do. So in this instance, it might be better if you were to put a little heatsink on them there. And we'll give it a clean with some IPA. Right, I'm going to put it back together of sorts to see if it comes on. I just want to make it slightly safer. It's quite nice because you know which way to put them on because they got a little indentation here and here, and it's the same with this one. There was a little semicircle cut out, so you have to get it in the right place. Right, here goes. First things first, let's do the one that was working previously to make sure that it's still working. So I'm going to plug this in now. It's on insulated screwdriver, of course, otherwise I'd be getting the shock. Let's just see now if it's going to go bang. Yes, it is. So that one's still working. Just going to drain the power. There we go. Now, this one here, I'm a bit nervous about, because I know we found those faulty components. It just seems a bit strange to me that you know what I mean? That there was so many things gone. Right, let's see. I'm going to stand up. Should I do this? Well, it shouldn't explode this, should it? It should just pop. It should just pop the transistors again. Right, I'm going to face away when I do it. Yes. I'm nervous. I'm still facing away from it. I'm going to move my chair out of the way. It does appear to be on. Should we see if it still sparks? Insulated screwdriver. Yes, it does. Didn't realise I was such a scaredy cat. Okay, I am going to leave this upright for a few minutes. And I am going to stop filming and I'll finish off the video in the other room. I'll leave it on for a good 10 minutes or so. and then hopefully that means it's been fixed. If it's, I might leave it on again later tonight. If it fails again, I can always revisit it later in this Advent series. Well, it appears to be working just fine. It will need further testing. Hopefully the resistors I put in were correct. It was only really guesswork going purely by the other one. I'm hoping, because it's the same lamps, that roughly the same resistors would be used, but I really have zero idea. I don't think I've got any of these ones in the pallets. If I did, then I could read the resistors. I haven't gone through everything, so I might get lucky, in which case then I can always change them off camera. But you can see now it definitely is working. And if I just change the transistors, I don't think it would be, because I don't think the path would have been going through those resistors, because the resistances were way too high, not the 2.2 ohms that I've put in there. So for me, that's all very, very interesting. Don't jump this time. There you go, it still jumped. Didn't jump, didn't jump, didn't jump. So there we have it. I can see a bit of dust just here. It appears to be working.
Summary?
Another low value item, unfortunately. £7.50 I'm putting it down as, because it's £30 new, and I'm doing friends and family. Even though it doesn't look like this has had any use, I've put resistors in that I can't be 100% certain are the correct resistors. So unless I have another one of these in the pallet that I can read the resistors off, I will be just putting this down as a quarter of the value. So yeah, you can see overall that although money is being made, it's all quite low amounts. Anyway, let's see if it changes towards the rest of the series. We're only halfway through at the moment, so we're less than halfway through, so we've still got quite a bit to go.